hell did you come from?
I'm Mike Tankel, and I'm here in Los Angeles. Glad to see everybody and be live today.
Tim O'Connor from Australia, but actually goes back and forth. Who are you? It's good to see you again, Tim. What's going on with you?
Thanks, Brian. Tim O'Connor, the CEO of Elyptol, which is a natural hand sanitizing company. Great to be back here.
I don't go anywhere without it, no matter where I am around the country, which is always good. I love it.
Did you ever think you would say that before?
I did 4 years ago, so when we found each other.
He's been
I'm way ahead of everybody.
All right.
I picked this up since she said that. The reason why I like
Great supporter.
It's the only hand sanitizer in the world that says it kills 99.999% of germs. And you remember me telling you this when I met you, Veronica, didn't you?
Yeah. 99.9999.
Oh, it's another
log
9 now.
six.
All right.
Thousands times more powerful than the 99.9.
See? And that's why I wanted them here. So, Scott, you being a technology guy, one of the co-founders with Ken Rotonsky from Metal, which I really love because it's got some great guys in there. You obviously being that sax rhythm guitar player, TOTO, Supertramp, Pink Floyd, but always being with your dad, being the inventor of stuff. So I always call you an innovator. So again, all off the top of my head, I don't have
Good job, dude. That's
so here's the thing.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that. See that? Great.
Good to have you in
Thank
here.
you very much.
The green smoothie girl. She's the
tall,
exclusive.
you can see, right?
Veronica Parks, actress, model, her own CEO of her company. It's good to see you here, and you look lovely.
And a soul healer, and I'm here to bring more joy into your life.
You are doing that because it's all about happiness and enlightening people, too. And nonstop, obviously. Yes. All right, let's start here. Veronica, let's start with you. Ladies first.
Oh boy, there are two ladies in a house.
Yeah, I'm not counting Terri right now.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
I feel like they always say ladies first, so if there's poison or something, the guys don't have to take the bullet, you know?
Well, here's the thing on things. You did a smoothie challenge. How many days in a row did you do that?
So I made a commitment to do a video for 180 days, and I ended up doing it 256 days. And at first it was fun, but coming up with a creative video every single day for 250 days, it was like, yeah, it was fun.
So when it comes to that, I watched most of that, no matter where you were, because even when you went to Florida, you were doing it, whether it was on the beach or whatever the case was. I know it was challenging. You might have been the only one that I know in the world doing that.
What was it? Explain.
Was it a different smoothie every day, or?
It was a different smoothie every day. So I improvise, even though I have some delicious, amazing recipes that I share with my clients. For me, when I open the fridge, whatever leftovers I have, I throw them in and there's my smoothie. And mainly it's leafy greens. So it's my secret to like abundant amount of energy, to glowing skin, to actually shedding extra pounds. Most people, they go on diet and they're like, okay, I'm not gonna eat this and this and this and that for 30 days. That's so like negative, it's psychologically negative for you. And it's stressful. I mean, life is already stressful with everything that you have. So by adding just one green smoothie a day and still eating whatever you're eating, it changes your taste buds. You start having more energy, you want to work out, like it just improves everything. So instead of cutting things out, you just add 1 cup to your day. That's it.
But if you throw anything from the refrigerator, is that like spaghetti and meatballs?
It has to come from earth and it has to be in its holistic form.
Ah, good.
So
okay.
you can't throw some like potato chips and be like, I got my smoothie.
We call that freezer bingo.
There you go.
Well, you know, as a fitness competitor, I'm eating tons of greens, so that's a free food for me, and I'm making sure I'm actually eating spinach every day. I'm taking digestive enzymes, so I understand the importance of that to keep your system clean and to keep you healthy. So I'm excited to try your smoothies today.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Shall we?
Go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
We're going to try one.
We're going to get it. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
why not?
How long does this take now?
For me, my breakfast takes like 3 minutes. So usually I use 1 or 2 types of fruit. In this case, I got a banana, I got, what do you call this?
It's tangerine.
Tangerines. So I'm from Eastern Europe, sometimes I get lost in translation. I add half a lemon. Now the secret is you want to add it with a peel, because this is one of the best fibers you can get out there. And what does fiber do? Helps you everything, all this stuff like cleans out of your body. So we definitely need fiber.
I do notice how good your skin looks and everything.
Thank you. It's natural, no creams.
Yeah, pretty
You know, I used to spend a lot of money on these expensive creams, and once I started doing green smoothie, and I'm like, oh my God, this is free. Like, it saves me so much money. And today I'm also going to add a purple kale. So for those of you who are like, how do you get your protein? You need your chicken, and you need your steak, and all that stuff. Did you know that kale has protein? A lot
Yes.
of protein. Yeah, probably have to.
See, and also, it's the right blender too.
Yes,
That you
I
use.
use Vitamix. I know Brian suggested something else. The thing with Vitamix, it has to be strong enough to break down the leafy greens. I stay away from eating leafy green salads because I'm not going to stay there and chew it for so long. You have to break it down to small particles so your body can digest and absorb that. Otherwise, it just flushes out, so you just spend the extra money for no reason.
I
This,
gotta say, that's one of the craziest smoothies I've seen. Carrots, bananas, peels, onions, kale, and now she's gonna put some kind of wacky seed in
so
there.
it's all an improv smoothie. I woke up in the morning, I'm like, this is what I have in the fridge, this is gonna make a smoothie out of it. Chia seeds, this is one of the main secrets because it's filled with omega-3 fatty acids that helps you cancel some omega-6 fatty acids. So a lot of times when you eat meat, like those are all omega-6 fatty acids, a lot of oils. So when you don't have any omega-3s, your body becomes acidic. And that's where the inflammation comes from. And inflammation can lead to most of the disease out there. So I usually
That's
put
my
like,
biggest problem.
Well, there's a misconception a lot with fats and what our good fats are. Avocado. I eat a ton of avocado. I cook with I cook with coconut oil because olive oil doesn't break down correctly. So,
some people put olive oil. For me, my fat, I love the seeds because I'm also getting protein with it. So it's not just pure fat. But you can use coconut, you can use flaxseed oil.
yeah, to mix it, I'm going to say with olive oil to cook with because of it's not good to cook with. If people don't realize that, you're better off cooking with coconut oil or raw butter or the Irish butter that's natural with no salt. That's what I'm
Nice.
using.
So what would you call this smoothie? You can't call it like an orange swirl or something. What is this?
I call it Veronica Parks morning improv smoothie. One thing I forgot to mention is the fat. The reason you always want a tiny little bit of fat is because that's what helps your body to absorb the leafy greens. So if you just have the leafy greens with no fat, it doesn't absorb the same way. So I always add like a spoon of some sort of seeds. You can add nuts, coconut oil.
Just on the chia seeds, I heard you have to soak them, don't you, to break them
Yes,
down?
and this is why the ones that I brought today are powder.
Oh,
form,
okay, all
So
right.
it's easy. But yes, most of the seeds you have to soak them, or if you have goji berries, you have to soak them the night before, even the nuts.
Okay.
Anything that you can do to help your body absorb the nutrients without having to do extra work, phenomenal. So I'm going to turn this on. The water amount, I always put about 2/3. So it depends how thin you want it. I mostly drink mine thick, but most people like it thin, so it's up to you.
Do we have to drink this?
See, and the reason, Scott, and the reason why I wanted her to do this because I don't make blends, but I love smoothies. And I wanted the right one. So this helps me a great deal.
Well, I'll do something similar, except I'll add my protein powders to it.
That's one wacky. I just painted my cement in the backyard.
I think,
know,
Scott, I think you
Vitamix?
should add a blender to the band.
There you go.
I make like 70% of my food in Vitamix.
Is this gonna
there's
taste good, or is this just something you hold your nose and you go down?
I don't know, you can tell me.
It almost sounded like a chainsaw for a minute there.
Because it's breaking down all the vegetables.
There was a piece of kale. There's a piece of kale that doesn't want to go in. Okay, never mind. That one's staying.
Oh my God, are you kidding? All right, here we go.
Wow.
You got the piece of
Should I say males first this time?
Absolutely.
With vodka bourbon.
And you're first.
Okay.
Make a wish. If this is your first VP green smoothie, you gotta make a wish because odds are it will come true.
Oh boy, I already have it. I
Okay.
wish my inflammation goes away.
Yay!
Right?
That's
And this
a
was-
good self-loving
This
wish.
is right. All right. So do I wait for everybody so we can all taste it at the same
No,
time?
go ahead.
We toast.
No.
There's no waiting.
Comments first.
Huh?
Hey, Brian, did you also know that healthy fats help with your brain function? I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
Yes.
But I'm not surprised. That's good to know, at least.
Pass me that smoothie, man.
Especially when you're dieting, it's important to have the healthy fats because in that way, you know how you got to get brain fog and stuff when you're not eating correctly, so it helps
you
with
go,
that.
my friend.
Thank you.
Well, your brain loves
That's
fats.
what I was telling Brian.
actually not bad.
Tasted it yet?
I was
All right, here we
telling
go.
Brian, you
Little
need to
taste.
have healthy
All right.
fats for brain
We
function.
going in?
bad.
No, I think
Every
we-
time I'm working on something super creative, my brain craves fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, give me avocado, give me butter, give me
This is
nuts.
good.
Give me ice cream.
I'll hold my commentary on that one.
I know, it's
Unless
terrible.
it's vegan. Look at this. I mean,
Vegan ice cream is actually very
I
good.
couldn't have measured this better. Wow.
This is good.
Look at this.
This
All
is
right,
good.
so here we go, thrill seekers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Cheers.
All right, Big
Everybody make a
Veronica,
wish?
Yep.
go ahead. And also give your website.
My website. Oh my god.
That's good.
Not bad.
I get the reaction
You
all the
fooled me.
time.
You totally fooled me. I would.
I like the lemon finish.
Yeah, you can taste
the
the
lemon
I love
zest.
lemon because it takes away from the bitterness of the leafy greens. So that's my way of fooling people to add those leafy greens into your body without being like, oh, it tastes like kale.
Well, and I appreciate you saying leafy greens over kale.
You know what?
Yes. I
I'm glad I
don't.
came here today because this seems like
is
something
your
I would want to
breakfast.
do. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I drink smoothies every day, but nothing like this.
So you probably put like powders and.
Yeah, I have stuff, yeah, powders, but I have, I throw fruit and all kinds of things into it to
I'm
make it
looking
thicker.
forward to get you on my smoothies.
That's pretty
because
cool.
Any chance you
Wow,
get to
I like this.
have
I like that
real
too.
stuff versus powder.
Oh, yeah, this is great. This is great.
Wonderful. So I have leafy greens. You got me on the leafy greens. I have award-winning recipes that I share with everybody. I think I shared with you the link. It's bit.ly/vpgreen, or you can just go on my website, vpexclusive.com.
Okay, I gotta write that down so I don't forget.
Or just Google Veronica Parks. You'll find me on social media. I'm not hiding. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to your health.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, Mike,
I feel like I got a lot of energy. Can anybody tell?
Right?
I mean, everything goes really good now.
This is
I
better
guess.
than two
tell us what's going on.
I'm feeling really good.
What's going on, Brian? What has it been?
To be continued and everything else. What's happening in your world
We've had
now?
some fun. Over the last week, I started working with a new studio that's creating content based on wuxia stories, the martial arts fantasy world.
That's right. You did. That's
And
right.
Helping work with them, and that's been exciting. That just started off. That's called Immortal Studios, and really thrilled about that. But the most exciting thing is where Scott and I have been getting on Livin'. And Livin' is our interactive live music experience. And there's just so much happening. Should we jump in and share a little more with everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main things that's happened, I've been a technologist besides a musician for years, and we've seen this, we saw this shift coming in behavior where people were going to start staying home more because you had Zooms and all those things. But because of this COVID thing and everything shut down, it has completely changed the behavior. I am personally, you were seeing, first of all, the entertainment industry, our industry, at least the live business, I think, has been devastated. Like, there's just no gigs, no place to work. But actually, for me, I look at it as one of the most exciting times as an entrepreneur. This is my fourth company. This is probably the best entrepreneurial time I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many problems that need to be solved. So I'm very excited about really looking at how we can bring experience into the live world with all this new technology. I think that if you look at the behaviors of people walking around all day with their Zooms on, I catch myself. I'll be talking to my friends. I got 4 or 5 of my friends on. I'm watering the yard and we're hanging out. One of them's cooking. So, people are just sort of like, it's almost like being there. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest issues of not being on the Zoom call is I can't hand you something, right? I can't really do it. But the point about it is it's an interactive experience. So we believe that the new interactive experience is going to be a combination of a live event, premium, and then the ability to bring two-way communications in. So we just did an experiment where we set up the band to test to see how it felt for the band to have an audience, and we put like 15 80-inch monitors around the band and brought the whole audience in through the screens, and we were close and you could talk to people and take requests or whatever you wanted to do.
Really awesome.
But it really made it really fun, and what was interesting for the band, it was fantastic too, because it felt like everybody was in the front row. Right? Because now I can see everybody's face, where usually when we're playing gigs,
So now you get to sell VIP tickets to every single person.
Right, so that's, yeah, so you think about the VIP ticket for those people that come in that get special treatment.
Yeah.
But then the third thing that's interesting is, we see is, I can't hand you something through the screen, but we now, the world has shifted to delivery services. We have tons of them right now, right? So now I can actually put something in your hand that we can do together and we can share. So it's really about inventing this interactive, new type of experience, and the whole idea is based on, people love Super Bowl parties, right? They love to get together for a special event, they bring their friends over, and now because of all this, people aren't going into the clubs as much. I think they're gonna have the trusted source, have family and friends over for hanging out, so we're creating a new live experience in that space and building some tech around it at the same time.
They get to participate in this. You imagine opening the box when you prepare for the show that night, and maybe there's a couple kazoos in there, and we create the world's largest kazoo solo to, a great song. Everybody feels like they're a participant. We create that Instagram moment for them. It gets shared, it gets talked about, and they have a good time. And what people want right now is familiarity. We're at a point of discomfort. We don't know what's going on in the world, so we go to the familiar, the comfort of our own homes. We've got good televisions, good stereos, internet connections. Our life's kind of based on that. So leveraging the existing technology, how do we combine them in a unique way to add new technology to it and create an experience that is just as memorable as being there live?
Yeah, and what's nice too is we can now take and have satellite locations where you can bring people into those locations and then they can also be part of the whole thing. So it's really looking at how we can broadcast a very unique live event even into party locations. Like I believe clubs, the game is, it will never go back the way it was. I believe people will be bringing their virtual friends with them to the gig.
Yep.
I go to the gig, I get to go to the show because it's maybe only 50 people, but I get to bring 5 friends along virtually, right?
So
and I can bring them into the event. So I think the new world is going to be based around that. Like I might say, hey Mike, you want to go down to the club tonight? Oh dude, I can't make it. Okay, well I'll just tie in phone.
Right.
I'll be there. He'll be here on phone. We'll be able to connect. He'll be up on the screens. We'll be able to.
You just dress up out of your living room and you're having a party together.
That's right. So
Always do.
it's really the new model of thinking about it and what can you sell? Because again, remember, in the music business, you can't sell music anymore. There's no place to sell music.
Yep.
We're going to sell it. I mean, don't even have players that'll play it anymore other than streaming services. And unfortunately, the streaming services for 98% of the musicians and people out there is horrible business model. There's no money in it, right? So you can't make any streams. Because I remember I read a whole article, we were talking about like, to make $5,000 on Spotify, it's roughly around $1 million for 1 million views. But the only problem is, only 3% of the entire Spotify catalog gets 1 million views.
Exactly.
So how do you make any money? So we believe that the real game is experience. And that's what our whole model is, and that's Think Experience, which is the company that we have, which is the kind of the company that's building this Livin.live business. Is really focused on experience-based.
And the musicians like it, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty cool. I mean, it was actually fascinating to have all those people around in the band playing. It was actually very satisfying, much more than we thought it would be, because, the problem is nobody's there. But if they're 5 feet away and they're looking right at you, they're there, and you're talking to you, and they're waving at you.
So for the audience that has no idea who the hell you are, tell them who you played with.
Oh gosh, I came out of the music business, and kind of my biggest claim to fame, I was a saxophone player in Pink Floyd. So I rock and rolled for many years and played with a lot of different bands through the years. I played with Supertramp and TOTO and Mick Fleetwood's band, and
You're showing your
everybody
age,
from
man.
Chuck Berry to James Brown.
Did you play with Quincy Jones too?
Oh, Quincy. Well, Quincy was my business partner. We had
Exactly.
a company called QD7.
We love Q.
Which is one of my companies called Seventh Level. We did was I developed the world's first interactive cartoon, and Quincy, we did a partnership where we were building out. Actually, believe it or not, I was producing Quincy Jones,
Yep.
which was tricky.
Wow.
And it was a title called Music and Man, and it was basically music history through the eyes of Quincy Jones, right? And so I'd hang out with Q all the time. We'd talk. We had a whole team of people. And
I love his house.
Oh yeah, his pad, isn't that great?
Yep.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, and Q is probably been one of the biggest influences to me in one way. He taught me something that I'll never forget. When you have a conversation with Quincy, he is having a conversation with you. I don't care who's in the room, what's going on. When he talks to you, he is 100% tuned in to
He's
you,
present.
no matter who it is. And everybody says that, so his sense of presence, his awareness is so extraordinary, and it was just one of those things, every time you were around him and go be there, it's just like, wow, it's just like a different kind of a lift, and everybody says that. So he's very magical, yeah. Quincy is a very unique individual, for sure.
Mike, talk about how you started to be continued. Tim, you coming up next, and brand strategy. Where do you see everything going on these days? It's very important.
Look, everything's changing, and even, the premise for Livin', you pull back to that, it's virtual experience plus virtual experience equals a physical experience. We take the worlds, we combine them to give people what's going to entertain them, what's going to make them feel something. It's not just about the functionality of an internet transaction or delivery, it's about the emotion you get from it, and that's what we're working towards. When I got into To Be Continued, it was after times of helping educate filmmakers over in China how to market film, and seeing that the same potential existed here with the rise of independent filmmakers. A lot of times people rush into production. They don't think about the story. They don't think about the characters. They don't think about the marketing of it. It's like, hey man, I got a camera, let's go shoot this movie. And they wind up leaving a good opportunity out. And so I work with the writers and directors at the script and ideation level to come up with the marketing strategy and the marketing philosophy of not just their campaigns, but their stories, to make sure that a campaign can be drawn out of the story, that they've got the right kind of audience appeal, that they've maximized that they're doing something that's got reason for a distributor to be interested and for people to talk about it. And so people really haven't been looking at the pre-production time through a marketing lens, and that's what I've been doing. It's been really fascinating.
Tim, talk about your product, how Elyptol started, and then I'm going to go into why I love this brand so much, and I will always talk about this.
Sure, but before I start, I've got to say it's nice to be with some people. For everyone out there, it's stuck at home.
Both emotions.
We're old school.
Just to watch someone do a blender is Look, I think before I start, I think this is a great lesson to all of us out there that are entrepreneurs. It's a struggle, right? And it's been a struggle for 5 years. And I love that quote from Castaway, where he says, I just had to keep breathing. I got to get up and keep breathing, because if I keep breathing, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. But if I keep breathing, you just don't know what the tide's going to bring. And it's been a struggle, as you know, Brian, for 5 years to convince people to buy, a really good product. This is a world-class product, but people haven't in the past wanted to buy a premium product that's good for you, right?
What a marketing ploy, starting a virus to get your product out there.
But here's the thing.
All those private jets I hired.
Let's talk about this. We found this product that's
4 years
celebrity
ago.
connected.
4 years ago.
The reason why I tell people, I saw this coming. I knew everything what was happening with it, not even to get into stuff like that. But it was about what Tim created, and it was about the smell. Terri was there when we found this. When we took this to Tennessee, August 4th to 2018, on the 2 shows we had it on, Tim, it's 1.4 million views and still counting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was August 4th to 2018. Terri was with me, Victoria was with me.
Well, before COVID started, because I'm a gym rat and I'm at the gym every day, I'm constantly using it, and I love it because they've got the sanitizer at the gym. It's alcohol based, and it just dries your skin.
I can say this because I don't care.
Yeah.
I look at Purex and I'm like, I want to throw up because of the chemicals in it, which would bother you, me, Tim, probably all of us. The reason why I love this and people see this all the time, it's one, it smells good, but talk about how the story came, because it's about the story that you have that's important.
Yeah, well, so 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, we wanted to create a sanitizer that was not just sanitizing and killing germs, but promoted skin health. So a lot of the sanitizers that you buy, they say they're 99.9%. And by the way, we're 1,000 times more effective than the 99.9. But they have isopropyl alcohol in them. Mm-hmm. And it's not declared how much acetone is in isopropyl alcohol. And acetone, as you know, it's very difficult to get rid of in the body. You might as well just go down to the service station and pour gasoline on your hands. So there's a lot of sanitizers out that have been coming out for years, and more importantly, or more frequently now since COVID, that we don't actually know what's in them.
That's right.
All right? So they'll say alcohol, but what's the denaturant? Now, for everybody's education, when you create a sanitizer, you use alcohol, but in order to sell it over the counter, OTC drug, you have to denature the alcohol. So you can't just sell pure alcohol. So you've got to denature it, and denaturing means you can't drink it. Put something in there that makes it so you can't drink it, right? So we denature the alcohol with the eucalyptus oil, natural oil. So you've got a pure ethanol alcohol, which we get from sugarcane or corn, and then you add a pure essential oil. Well, what we've done is we've taken the pure essential oil and we've refined eucalyptus oil. So you know eucalyptus globulus when you go to the supermarket and use it for the diffuser? That's eucalyptus globulus, which has got 30% impurities in it. So we've taken that impurity out, and now we've got a pure essential oil. We add to alcohol, we add another vegetable glycerin, which is a moisturiser, and that product is going on your skin. So if I can continue, the chemical reaction is as follows. When you put this product on your hands, the alcohol does the kill, and the eucalyptus oil seeps through. So if you use it enough, it'll seep through those skin layers. So you've got all these skin layers, and then the final skin layer to protect your blood vessels is called the membrane layer. And once that eucalyptus oil hits the membrane layer and it detects a damaged membrane layer, it triggers the brain to release what's called ceramide, which is a natural healing agent. So now you've got a product a little bit more expensive than other products, but now you've got a product that seeps through your skin, takes care of your skin, kills the bacteria on your skin, and has a element in there that triggers a ceramide. Not only that, the odour of eucalyptus oil triggers dopamine, which is a relaxant, which is why when everyone goes to the gym and the saunas, you come out of that sauna and go, God, that was a fantastic sauna. It's actually the eucalyptus oil that's actually calming you down. So you've got all these benefits from a simple hand sanitizer, and that's what we've been working on for years, and that's what we've been trying to convince the public.
Talk how long
use something.
it took you to get that 99999.
No,
Was it?
You missed a few nines ago.
See, that's why I wanted them here.
Well, the most important thing we've done, and that's what's taken the time, is to get it right. Now, there's only some simple ingredients in there, but to get it right has taken the time. Not only that, we've spent millions of dollars doing the right thing. Food and Drug Administration registrations, TGA in Australia, CE marks. You can look at, we've got documentation to show the laboratory tests that everything we say is true. And I'd challenge a lot of the other hand sanitizers companies, 150 companies the FDA has pulled. I'd challenge all those other companies to show us all those safety data sheets and see what's actually in the product.
I got to say, I'd never used it. We just tried this stuff out. It's fantastic, mainly because my hands, I don't feel all dried out.
Yeah.
And like you said, the smell.
The
Good
eucalyptus
job,
smell
man.
is great.
Yeah.
I got a box that we want to put your stuff in.
Yeah,
But that's the whole thing on that. That's like when Terry and I and Victoria, I don't like to go anyplace. A lot of my friends around the world love this stuff, Tim.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, what you just explained, it's important because you worked your ass off to get to where you are to do this. Not only here, but in Australia. Talk about how it does in Australia.
It's doing extremely well in Australia. Look, it's a terrible disease, but it's changed the ability for us to get our message out there. So COVID, whenever there's always a bad story, there's always a good story to a bad story. COVID's terrible, but for us it's been fantastic for getting our message out to the public to say there are solutions out there that can actually be good for you. So Australia's doing incredibly well. Funny enough, Asian market's doing extremely well. European market's now catching on. America's doing phenomenally well. You can get our product in Costco now, get our product in Target, hopefully CVS soon.
What's the website?
www.elyptol.com. That's ELYPTOL.
So the other thing about these things, I'm an environmentally friendly guy. I love anything that's sustainable. Goes back to Mike. I love those certain brands. I don't have my segue in here. I love AI technology, which goes to tech, you being the tech guy, Scott, and stuff that's healthy, Veronica, obviously, green smoothie woman. But it's one of those things, these things are important. That's why I love doing these shows like this. And so, Terri,
Yes.
what's been happening with you?
Well,
Besides your TikTok.
Well, everybody knows I'm doing my TikTok because I'm a creator. I've always done acting, and so I've been trying to showcase my comedic side on that platform. And I'm just now putting some of it over on Instagram. But the good news is Oracle is purchasing them, and I think they're doing a deal with Walmart. So hopefully they don't go away. But if they do go away, I still am working on that. I'm training for Fitness America in Vegas on the 21st, and so I'm in the gym 6 days a week right now. But it's good to challenge yourself with those kind of things. I'm over 50, so I'm still trying to be an inspiration that women can stay healthy and be active, and it's not the end of the world because you're over 40. So
Exactly.
That's there you go.
Mike, did you give you a website?
You can find me best on either LinkedIn or Facebook.
You're all over
Mike
LinkedIn.
Tankel or To Be Continued.
When you're talking about the new company, I saw all the people chiming in. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
I did too. It was great to have such a wonderful response and to see so much support and to see how different folks are connected. It was wonderful.
Absolutely.
Now, Brian, I got a question for you.
No.
You talked about how you saw this all coming 4 years ago. Can you tell me what we got in store for the next 2 to 4 years?
Because you're
No.
psychic.
I will only,
That's what I'm interested
no, I will
in.
only tell you what's happening between now and the end of the year because I only take it every 90 days.
Okay.
So for us, movie reviews and more. So Terri, who's been with me for 5 years, so when we went to Tennessee, she has over 3 million views, just hers, with all the interviews that she's done because she mainly does red carpet interviews. So I kept telling her, never mind the followers, to hell with the likes, unsubscribe to nobody. It's about the views. It's always been about the views. You can't unview a view, which is what I always say. So we have 6 million views today, 6,024,000 and something change. But what it is, our goal, movie reviews and more, is to have 10, possibly 11 million views a day between now and the end of the year. All right, so this is our views today, if everybody can see it. We only
So
went
exciting.
up 4,000 overnight. We always go up. We never go down. It has never been still. Our YouTube is at 1,097,000. So it's probably at 1.1 right now as we're speaking because we're on YouTube Live right now. Out of Tennessee, like I said, 3.8 overall. And like I said, the good thing about that, your product was on the show. So remember when I was texting you, you were on the airport, coming back from Australia, getting on a plane? We were flying Terri in because he was one of our sponsors. And the reason why I wanted him there, because I knew what was going to happen with us. That's 2 years ago. So what's going on with everything else? Movie theater business is dead. As you know now, Scott, music business is dead. There is no NAMM, there is no CES show. What am I doing right now, Scott and Tim? I'm doing one-on-one interviews with you guys, not only in Zoom, but every other week here in the studio. This is going to be my meeting place. Only certain people are going to be allowed to come here because of what we're creating, what we're doing. I just happened to let the green smoothie lady in because I felt sorry for her.
I thought you said it's because we needed breakfast.
Next week,
Brian, you're
Revenge
kinda-
of the Green Smoothie Lady.
You're kind of bringing left at one other platform, sports, because sports has changed too.
However,
Whether-
it hasn't changed for us.
Well, with Sportamix, but I'm just saying
Right.
the audience portion. I mean, even for fitness shows, I don't even know if we're gonna have an audience in Vegas. I doubt it. I'm probably gonna be doing my bikini little.
But here's the
posing
thing, and I always tell
Just the
Terri
judges,
this, and
but-
all the other girls, is about, we're not affected. We're
No.
stock-proof and we're recession-proof because I changed everything around years ago. So when I was going to Metal, I was watching all the companies that were there, all the brands, and I'm like, I want to do this. When Bebop was there, with the Hyperloop creating things, I'm like, I get it. This is how we're going to change things around. I wasn't really anybody there at that point, but I was watching all of those guys there. Now they're all starting to come this way. Wait till I have Ken here.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. I'll get him here.
Oh, you'll get Ken.
But the thing is, I wanted Tim here because I believed in what he created. I really do. And how many times did I call
Thanks,
you the
Brian.
last
Yeah.
year and a half?
Oh, you've been phenomenal.
I've been
Brian.
calling 2-3 times a day because I believe so much in his product. That's just his product.
I'm going to do that. too.
I've got LG, General Motors, General Electric. I've got all these other great companies that you haven't even seen yet. Wait till we start announcing them. That'll be
Brian,
like next week.
why don't we do a coupon code for you, and the people that come on our site use the coupon code, and we'll give them 25% discount.
That's good.
Want to do that?
I'm game. And one of the things about this is the stuff is not going away. So what's the new brand? What you guys are creating now, I think it's great. When you guys are started talking about it, I'm like, that's a great idea. You know, what Victoria, Veronica does, I'm like, I love what she's created, her whole brand. And you should always go with that because she tried to pick me up at a Starbucks. I was just sitting there minding my own business, and she came over and started bothering me.
Reverse the roles. I was writing my blog, or actually I was working on my book, and Brian comes to me. He's like, I don't know what is about you, but you have this energy. Like I need to know who you are. And then we started talking, and
she was just smiling the whole time, and I left. And I know this, if I see something or see someone, I'm like, okay, there's something there. How can I help that person? They don't know what I'm going to do with that person. And she could have said, go away, you black guy, or something like that, but she didn't. She was just still doing her thing. And so, there's something about her. I want to help her. So I left, gave her my number, and I came back and I brought her some books.
Yeah, you brought me books. You brought me actually the hand sanitizer.
That's right.
And some natural flavored waters. Like, what is your opinion on this? I'm like, you don't want to know.
Yeah, she didn't like the water, but you like the hand sanitizer.
Yes. The water had natural flavors. I'm like, I am not touching that.
So, testing a lot of those things out and seeing what's going on with everything, movies are dead, and I'm a movie whore, so I'm bothered by that. However, I do know how to save the theaters. It's just, I'm just waiting for the ventilation system. I haven't found the right one yet, but I've been talking to a couple people. And again, from playing, we have to have all this stuff has got to be correct. It's got to be right, and it's got to be tested, whether you believe it or not. So I love finding those great products. And like this, it took me 3 years to find the right studio. It's not like I didn't reach out to the other one that was here. And I said, okay, I'll show you what you can't think it will be done. And that's my whole attitude at it. Just when you think you know the answers to everything, I change the questions. And that's why you guys are here. But watch and see who we have, everybody else that's coming, because we can't do red carpets. But in that hallway out there, watch what I'm going to bring in there. I've got plans for these things, not only here in Nevada and Tennessee and Georgia, Tyler Perry's studio. We're going to be fine with all the stuff that we're doing. Everybody else is not so much. And I'm not even talking about our Dream Weaver Artist Ranch.
Yeah, I love your pioneering spirit, dude. You can, right? He's really got,
It's awesome.
Because, one of the things I always tell everybody, I always bring this up in everything I talk about, the only thing that's real is us talking right now. Everything else is an illusion, right? So we can get mired back in the past, or we can think about something. It doesn't really matter as long as this step that you're taking right now is happening, because that's the only one that's real, right?
That's right.
And so what you do is you get up every day and say, okay, it's like move forward
Gotta get
and not
up.
move
Yep.
backwards, right?
Yep.
And same for me, like this was going to be our biggest year for Think. We had Jazz Fest. We were putting up this giant dome at the Queen Mary. We had Europe and everything. It stopped. I got up that next day and I said, since it's all over, and it didn't even faze me because I just realized those were all illusions too. So people that get hung up in all of that lose sight of what you can actually go make happen now. And I really appreciate the way you're talking, buddy, just because it's...
Well, and like I
it's so
said, I'm
critical.
on record for everything that I say. And I'll call Terry, and I have to thank Sherry Nelson out of British Columbia, one of our other co-hosts, because
We love her.
we have 13 co-hosts, and I couldn't be happy for what the girls are doing. I do a lot of this for them, and it's one of those things where if I found this company, go donate.
Yes,
I liked how the lady created this. She created this in her kitchen because she got tired of putting her phone on a stove and it was falling off. So it's one of those things like this. So I take this all over with me. But it works well. So I love finding these products. I want to be that guy, Scott, where no one knows of these products, that I found them and I break them open. That's why I love what you guys have created, and I have to thank Eileen Shapiro, rockstar journalist, for introducing
One of our
me to
heroes.
you
We
guys.
love that.
Exactly.
She's the best.
Yeah, her and Jimmy Starworld, you know, so that's good. And then, like I said, without Tim, I'm so thankful that Gene had him at Celebrity Connected and you guys reached out, because no matter what, we're taking this all over the place, and I don't care if people like it or not. Everybody loves it. Right. And I forgot to tell you, this is great for healing too. A lot of my friends have been using it for scabs and all kinds of stuff. They get headaches, they've been using it.
You know, the young kids that have acne problems on their face?
Yeah.
They get our wipes and they wipe their face with it.
Do you know, I used it for
Cleans the
mosquito
face.
Bites.
Yep.
It actually soothes mosquito bites, which I found on accident because I just, put it on and I had a bite and it made the...
Yeah, if you spray it before you go outside, the mosquitoes won't touch it.
That's right. There's many different great elements to that. Find me another hand sanitizer that does that. I'm sorry, you can't.
So many mosquitoes.
If I can just add one thing though, Brian, which is important. You mentioned the environment before. One of the things we've done with the product is in each of our bottles, like the bigger bottles in particular, you notice the tube goes to the left.
Yep.
So we've pushed the manufacturers to manufacture this product that little bit extra so it drains everything, so there's no wastage. The bottles have been designed with PET, so when they're recyclable, and the canisters for our wipes have got a screw top. My daughter's sitting in the bath one night and she says, "Daddy, why are you killing all the fish?" I said, "What do you mean, honey?" She said, "Well, why are you making these canisters that just go out in the ocean?" So what we decided to do was make them screw tops and refillable. So you keep your canister, you keep your plastic, and you put a refillable in it.
That's why this lasted so long. I kept refilling it with the last I had of this.
Yeah.
And the reason was people would laugh at me.
Well, he's got the, what I like about that bottle too is the clip on the
clip.
side, because
Exactly.
I have that clip to my gym bag.
Yeah, you put on your
Yep.
gym bag or your stroller.
Yep.
Yep. But even that, you'll notice that the bottle has got a higher neck. Mm-hmm. And we did the higher neck so you can put the carabiner clip on it. Most bottles don't have that high neck.
Nice.
So there's a lot of effort that's been put into this.
Big time, amazing.
Yeah.
Brian, you found all these wonderful products, and we would be happy to support any of them and share them with our influencers that'll be getting special packages for the next Livin.live experience.
We should add this to your package.
Well, I would love to.
Yeah, no problem.
No, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to
Talk
talk
about
to you
that.
about doing a smoothie segment.
Okay. I would love that.
Yeah.
We can add.
Yeah,
You just want breakfast.
We can add one of these.
Breakfast, that's all
I want
is.
free breakfast for the crew and everything.
No,
I want the real
Scott,
I think it's
stuff.
fun.
Scott, let's add one of these in your little
Yeah.
packs,
Okay, great.
little travel pack.
Oh, sweet.
It's actually very
That'd be awesome.
fashionable.
Here's one last thing, and then I want, we got about 10 minutes left. The reason why I love this stuff, the tray tables that you have on the plane. People were laughing at me, and I have it too. It's called the restroom kit. I wanted the restroom kit to go to this. When my friend was passing away at Seniors, I turned all the nurses onto this. I think I told you.
No.
Because they had that Purex in there, and it's not good.
Germex or Purell or?
It didn't matter. They were using this by the time I was leaving. I was coming in, they would go, "You have any more?" The Elyptol? This was in the IC ward.
Yeah.
I was a visitor, but they liked me so much, I became a friend of the family, and I'm like, by the time I left, he was on 7 different medications. He got off of all of them except for one. Unfortunately, 5 days later, after I left, he passed away. And I don't know what happened after I left, but it was one of these, I left them better than when I found them. So when it comes to everybody, I want to make sure I leave people better than when I found them. Yeah. That's really, really important to me, whether it's the environment or whatever. I already know I live a long time, but I could be talking to someone who's got a company that I like. They might not be here tomorrow, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing all the stuff that I'm doing. Mike, we got a couple minutes left. What did you see movie-wise while you was trapped inside?
Oh, gosh. We've been watching so many of the films from other countries
Yep.
and TV series. We watched Dark from Germany. We watched the range of all the Israeli shows, and
Which had some good shows.
It's been great, and I think what's phenomenal is language has not been a barrier. Adventure has opened up to everybody. Storytelling is universal. We've seen from around the world, and so I love that fact, and that the world is smaller that way, and we have stories that we can all share, and we're not as different as we make ourselves out to be. So that's been phenomenal. In terms of the specifics, gosh, I've just been consuming way too much. I'm almost blank on it right now.
Tim, you were going back and forth, I think, to Australia.
Yeah.
I know you might have been stressed at times just wanting to make all this stuff happen and not knowing what was going on with stuff. When you had any downtime, were you watching anything, or what kind of music might you have
Oh
been
man,
listening to?
as you know, for the last 4 years I've been working 15, 16 hours a day. But I will tell you a funny story. Just recently I was watching The Shooter.
Oh, yeah.
And nightmares on your own all the time. You wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And movies, no, I haven't been watching many movies. A few series on Netflix, but no, not that much.
Scott?
Yeah, I think there's one that I think everybody should go see that I just saw. It's called Social Dilemma.
I heard about that. I want to see
In
that.
my list, in my notes.
No, this is one that everybody has to see, the kids have to see.
Absolutely.
This is really, really, really important. Because what we're seeing now is the outcome of how powerful these networks are on kind of moving people and making them think differently. I don't know if there's another thing that everybody should go see, and it's really important at the time. It's a documentary called Century of the Self, and it's about a guy named Edward Bernays. Anybody ever heard of Edward Bernays?
No.
Okay, Edward Bernays is the father. He's the father of kind of marketing, and he changed the word propaganda to PR. And he was involved in all the
Interesting.
major big things. And it's him and Sigmund Freud, and they had basically developed how to control crowds. How to get people. So that when women to smoke, they did those campaigns. They did all those things back in the day. But these things will tell you, because right now we're under attack basically, in a sense, through the media that's basically controlling the narrative. And if you realize that the mind is incapable of knowing truth from falsehood, it's really how conscious you are to make those decisions. You can be very well influenced, and I'm seeing the kids today getting influenced at a level that's crazy. So those two things, I really believe everybody should be aware of. So at least as you're looking and you're going on to these tools, these different sites, you have some sort of understanding of what you're actually doing and what's being tracked and how you're being manipulated. It's very important.
But we're arming them by sharing so much of ourselves with them, letting them know what we're doing. So it's like they have a sense of who we are, what we think, and it takes marketing 100 times further than it used to. It used to be Coke going after Pepsi, Pepsi going after Coke. Now it's taking every bit of information about you and using it to change you.
Yep.
And it's not just the advertisers, but the control of what you see is the problem, and the pushing of agendas. If it was as effective from an advertiser standpoint, every advertiser would put all their money just solely into social media.
Yep.
But it's not. But it's the influence and how it changes and exposes us and gets our conversations to differ from where they were.
Yeah.
Well, it still creeps me out that Facebook and Instagram knows what I want to buy. I mean, I know that they listen to your habits and all that and see what you buy online, but it still creeps me out.
Well, it's even more than that.
Yeah.
They're monitoring when you're scrolling, and if you just stop for a second, they're monitoring that. They know exactly everything you're doing. They're building a profile around you, and then the AI basically is, the algorithms, whoever owns the algorithms.
Yeah, there's no such thing as privacy.
Right now, I'm going to see a bunch of ads for leafy greens.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you something.
Yeah, because they're listening.
Something really scary is I got a new laptop, right? So I just changed the laptop over last week, and I set up Outlook on the device, and then I loaded Chrome, and I thought I would have had to get the history from my other computer and put it into my new computer. I loaded Chrome. It had all the history, all my passwords, my usernames.
Everything's there.
Everything is in that. I didn't do a thing.
Because it goes to the cloud. So it's all up in the cloud, and so it just comes back down.
Too.
Yep.
There are benefits. It took me like half an hour to load, but jeepers.
Listen, the benefits are incredible.
Yeah, if you lose your phone, you get your pictures
it's when
back.
the wrong people get in control of that information, that power, right?
I call it pure hypnosis, and one thing that I do that I didn't mention is I help my clients, I guide them to healing their trauma from the past. And I do that on a subconscious level. And the first question I get are like, oh, are you going to hypnotize me? I'm like, every time you look at the phone, every time you watch a movie, every time you entertain and focus on something, you are hypnotized. Being hypnotized to heal yourself, that is the reason. That is the difference.
The biggest drag is you're seeing right now the power of how it's dividing everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the hate that's coming out. I mean, I'm seeing my friends saying, I just dumped my friend. I'm 25 years, we've been pals, but I won't talk to him anymore. Right? And you're going, why is that? See, people are saying, oh, it's because of the political, but no, what is causing it is how they're manipulating the information to get you to get all riled up, because the concept of free thinking is kind of going away.
Yeah, yeah.
People
Well,
aren't free thinking anymore.
Yeah.
If you hear something over and over and over, your brain's gonna start thinking that way, and
And
you're.
that's what
and
that
then-
documentary
And
is
then
all
you
about.
Through the
don't,
self-
and then you
all
can,
Exactly.
and then you're so brainwashed you can't even have a conversation with somebody because nope, they're wrong, and it's just scary because I see it too.
Well, even worse is the fact that you could put facts, like here it
Yeah.
is, in front of somebody that has their opinion, and they still don't believe it.
That's true.
And this is the
That's what's
reason
weird,
why
right?
I'm always saying what we're doing. Because if I scroll down my phone, and I've only had 2 people say it, Brian, how do you do this? How have you interviewed over 80,000 people? Well, first of all, I started in 1982. I'll be 60 Saturday. If I do 5, how many people are here? If I'm doing 2 interviews today, we've done, and we split this with all the girls. We've done 176 shows on Zoom in 26 weeks.
Well done.
I know nobody has done that in the world. We've gotten to, when I last saw Tim, we didn't even have 1 million views.
No.
I didn't have 1 million views until April 16th of 2018. No, 2019. It's only a year and 6 months. But if I scroll down and you see the history of my phone, this goes back to April 16th. I keep track once a day of all my numbers. I can validate everything that we do. I know exactly how many views Terri has. She's got over 3 million. I haven't even had a chance to add them all up because I'm like, oh my God, I got to go through 5 years of all her videos that people are still clicking on. That's just YouTube. That's not counting iTube out of Tennessee. Completely different numbers. That's not counting if we have 175,000 views in 1 week. From all the stuff that we're doing. That's not counting Sherry, who's only been with me for 5 months. She's got over 100,000 views herself and counting. That's just 2 girls. Remember, I got 13. So imagine if I had Veronica, if she'd be so lucky to have us.
13 is my lucky number, so I don't
See, she might be number. You never know.
Plus you get those smoothies, man.
Exactly.
know.
All right.
Everybody needs 13, so I'm like, more luck for me.
You gotta
Thank
go.
you.
All right. Say your last thing.
Okay, I have to leave the show a little bit early because I am multitasking today. But my social media platform is Terri Marie Nonstop on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now on TikTok. And then my website with my fitness and my modeling and my hosting and stuff is on Terri Marie Official. So I will
And-
see you at the next show.
Mike, give you social media links.
Find me on Facebook at Mike Tankel, as well as To Be Continued, and the same with LinkedIn.
And he's huge on LinkedIn. Tim?
Same, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, online, Amazon, elyptol.com, Elyptol.
And please go on this. This is not only a great product, but it will save your life too. Scott?
Yeah, everything in mine is IAM Scott Page. I am Scott Page, and if you want to find out about Think, just type in Think EXP, and you'll see a ton of stuff, a bunch of our shows, all kinds of stuff about that.
And Veronica?
My name is Veronica Parks on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's Parks Veronica, PARKS Veronica. And everything else is my company, VPExclusive. So
Miss
YouTube,
Green
Facebook,
Smoothie Woman. And so,
It's tasty.
Yum.
with that, I want to thank everybody for being here.
Thank you, Brian.
You're always welcome back because
Thanks, Brian.
this will be our meeting place for everything. You knew it as an older studio, but wait till you see what happens with the Mike House studio. We have great things to happen for here. And so
Inspiration,
for
Brian,
that-
inspiration.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's about helping a lot of those companies, small businesses, and those people make it because I believe in the system, but creating our own system, obviously. But it's one of those things, hey, if you see someone add a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. And I'm Brian Sebastian. This has been Movie Reviews and More, iTube 247 out of Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee, Worldwide TV Network, and WomenOnTV.tv, and we will see you next week.